Do I look fat?
Hey guys, welcome to another episode of the Do I Look Fat podcast. It's your girl, Stephy Kiss. This week's guest is a boy mom of three, one of my clubhouse homies, and a real deal Bay Area baddie, my girl, Jessica. Hey, boo. How are you?
Hey, what's going on?
How are you today?
I am doing very interestingly today, but we'll talk about it.
Girl, it's fucking crazy. So it's February, what's today? The 4th? I don't even know what day it is
The
half
fourth.
the
Today's
time.
all the days are molding me, honestly. I couldn't tell you. If the sun is up, it's a day. If the sun is down, it's a night. That's all I can tell
I was
you.
looking at my calendar and I was like, holy shit, I haven't even changed like it to February yet. Like,
It
why
was
do I
still
still
January. Same for me.
I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, seriously. um, so Jessica is from the Bay. We met on
Yeah.
Clubhouse, I want to say like before Christmas, around
Yeah.
Christmas time, something like
Yeah.
that. And we just hit it off instantaneously. I went into a room that you were hosting. What was the name and what was the premise of that room?
The room is called Merry Thickness. I opened it right before Christmas started. I really wanted to kind of pull towards the plus size community, co-ed, male or female, and just kind of give us a space to talk about, what's going on in our lives, love lives, sex lives, etc.
Yes, love to see it. So as soon as I saw like that, the name of the room, I was like, oh, I gotta go in here. And then you pulled me
Exactly.
on stage. I was like, oh, these girls are cool. Okay, like I fuck with y'all. Y'all be popping. Clubhouse, I haven't been on Clubhouse in so long. Just like life
Yeah,
came and whatever.
I feel
But
you.
I made a lot of connections on that app and
Yeah,
I'm very grateful for it. So
yeah.
before we get into today's episode, we're gonna do a quick icebreaker.
Okay.
And it's going to be a would you rather situation. Okay.
Oh
So I'm
my
going
gosh.
to, I am going to give you two scenarios and then you're going to tell me which one you would rather and why. Okay.
Oh my gosh. Okay, cool.
So the first one is, would you rather have Legos scattered all over your living room or Cheerios dust stuck on the kitchen counters forever?
Why would you do this? So I have three little boys,
Mm-hmm.
and both scenarios are things that have definitely happened, and they're both hell. Let me see. I think I'd rather have the Legos because I would just wear shoes all the time.
Right. You can kind of
Honestly,
dodge them,
yeah,
right?
I could kind of dodge them if I have shoes on. When it's Cheerios on the counter, and it's just that's just nasty because of like food prep. What if I
Mm-hmm.
want to like bake a pie? Then I have to put the dough. I'm not doing that, but I'm saying like if I did, then it's gonna be Cheerio pie. Nah, I don't want that.
No, and that like that's messy. Like Legos, all right, that's clutter and whatever.
It's
But
clutter. It
like,
looks terrible though.
and it hurts. Don't let you walk into
They
the living
hurt.
room
So
in the
that means I
middle of
gotta
the
sleep.
night.
I gotta sleep with like boots on. I gotta sleep with like boots on my feet. So when I get up in the night,
Yeah.
oh my God, wait. I don't know.
I don't know. I think I still would choose the Legos though, because I'm
I
not
still
doing the
would choose Legos.
Cheerios. I
Yeah,
live in New
no.
York. Like we don't need food remnants on our
We don't
counter.
know. I said we. I haven't lived there in years, but definitely I agree with you. I don't want that here either.
It's gross. It's not
Right.
cool. It's not kosher. Like none of that. Like I'll take the Legos and then, maybe we'll build like calluses on our feet or whatever. We
Right.
won't feel them
Right.
shits no
Oh
more.
my God, don't say that either. Oh no. I'll just keep the boots on.
All right. So the next one is, would you rather never need to do laundry or never need to wash dishes again?
Would I never? Oh man, this also is a scenario that I can relate to. I fucking hate washing dishes. And let me tell you why. I am an avid mani and pedi girl every two
Mm,
weeks. And I feel like the more dishes I wash, the more sooner I need to go in for a fill,
for
or
sure.
they lift easier. So I choose not to have to wash dishes. But is somebody else washing them, or like what is it? They're just
Yeah, you just
piling up?
never have to wash. You never have to wash them again.
Oh, specifically me. Oh girl, oh yeah. Look, can I choose both? I also don't want to do laundry.
I hate laundry. I mean, I hate dishes too, But when I tell you, laundry is the bane of my existence. And I feel like that's only because I live in New York. Because for
Right.
me to do laundry, it's literally like
It's a whole
thing.
task. Yep, it is.
I have to separate the clothes here. I have to pack them. I have to get my little shopping cart, walk
Yep.
about a block and a half to the laundromat, regardless
Yep.
of the weather. Like, no. No.
When I was there, I lived off of Fordham for a while, and I was in a 5-floor walk up.
Oh,
but it was just
boy.
me at the time. Thank God, no children yet. But when I tell you I had to walk up and down, I really had to want it to be able to be like, okay, I need to walk. Okay, I'm like running out of underwear or whatever. Like I really, really needed to have it. I had to be able to leave to do it, especially when it was winter. Oh my God.
I couldn't even. So, my son, he has autism, right? So he has a home health aide. So by the grace of God, she was like, listen, I'll wash both of your clothes. I was like, what? I have
Oh
not
my
had to do laundry
gosh.
since like July. And you have no
Oh my
idea how happy
gosh.
I am in life.
Oh, I'm so jealous.
It
I
literally,
wish.
it changed my whole life experience. The only thing
And then
is that now I have to put the clothes away. You think I do? I still don't wash clothes. You think I put the clothes away?
I have 2 baskets of clothes that are clean upstairs on my living room floor right this second. Okay, right this second.
Listen.
I washed last week. It's a struggle. I'm working from home. I have 3 kids that are virtual learning. It's a shit show all the time. It's a bunch of stuff going on.
All the time.
Yes.
And it's like, if I'm wearing these clothes anyway, because she washes like once a week, right? So it's literally like the same 5 pajamas that I'm wearing every day. So it's like, do I really have to put them away? Like,
right.
I'm just going to wear it tomorrow, but
exactly.
I got to do better because I really need to like organize my life and get it all the way together because
right. I feel you, girl. Don't worry.
I'm an adult,
choir.
I suppose. All right. So the next one is, would you rather have no physical intimacy or no true love?
Oh my God. I feel like I'd rather have, oh my gosh, this is a tough one too. So I really feel like now that I'm in my 30s, sex when I was like 20s was just like, oh, ha, just sex. But now that I'm in my 30s, I feel like I'm nastier. I want to do more things and I'm always ready and I'm not getting it, but I would love to. So I feel like at this point in my life, I have my children and I love them. So I feel like I could go without having
like true love, right?
Yeah, like true love. Like I can still love my kids, I'm sure, right? So okay, fuck them. Just give not them, my kids, meaning I know. These guys. Like just give me dick and go. Oh, that might be fun.
Hello. Listen, and I was telling one of my I'm not gonna call them a boo, but like, one of my on again, off again, whatever situations. I was telling him and I was like, listen, I don't even think you understand. I turned 34. I think 34 was the year because it wasn't 35 because I was already like this year. 34 and my sex drive went through the fucking roof.
My God. Yes. I'm telling you, I'm going to be 37 in June. Okay. I'm going to be 37 and I cannot stop I don't even know if I could say it. Like I really I want net videos all the time. Like I told you guys, like I've said it before, like 2021, I'm collecting nut videos like Infinity Stones. I don't give a fuck.
Not the nut videos.
Yes, the nut videos, girl. I don't know what it is. And then I'm very specific and I will tell them, no, you need to make sure you're moaning, like all these kinds of things. I'm telling you, I'm a fucking creep. I'm a creep now that I'm going to be like 37.
I don't know what it is. Once a woman hits her 30s, our hormones go into overdrive. Like all we want to do is have sex. And during the fucking pandemic, like it's been a struggle.
Try living in the house with 3 cock blockers. Like this is the worst time of my life.
I have one and a half because of my cat.
Blocker. Okay, see, I have 3 and the 5-year-old is on me like white on rice on a paper plate in a snowstorm. The boy does not leave me alone. It's bad.
I miss those days.
Oh
though.
My God. Yeah,
wait until you don't have it anymore.
You didn't have to go through it in a pandemic though, because if you did, I love my children, but this is extreme. Extreme.
It's hard. I mean, my son is 11 and I have to literally like stop him and be like, I'll go into his room and I'll be like, can we cuddle? And he'll give me 15 seconds. I'm not
Oh my
exaggerating. It's
gosh.
literally 15 seconds. And I just lay there and then he like takes his shoulder and like pushes me off of him.
Pushes you off. I
And I'm
know
just
it's
like,
gonna happen. I know it's gonna happen, but for now, being in a pandemic, I feel like I've gotten at least 3 years extra of affection and cuddling.
right,
So I
right.
think I could suffice for a little while longer.
I hear that. I hear that. For me, I think, yeah, I can do the no true love. I mean, I've loved in the past, I don't think I'm not that person that succumbs to like you only have one soulmate and one true love in your lifetime. Like I feel
Right.
like everybody I've loved them for specific reasons and they've added specific value to my life
Mhm.
at the time. So, it's not like I've gone without love. No, but I
Yeah.
need sex. At least for right
Yeah.
now. Talk to me, in like 15 years. Then maybe it'll
Yeah.
change. Shit, my
I
mom got
feel
married
you.
at 50, at 55.
Hey, yeah, I'm telling you, you can have that love. I feel like we just go through these phases every 10 years of our lives. Like the 20s are always wild and crazy and
Mhm.
free. And then our 30s are when you feel a little bit more established with stuff and whatever else. And I feel like 40s and 50s is like travel and finding that real love or the person that you decide to just be like with for the rest of your
Mhm.
life.
Mhm. It's funny how you
Because
said
you're ready to sit down.
for sure. For sure.
Yeah.
And it's funny how you said 40s is like for travel because I already know where I want to go for my 40th birthday.
Yeah.
COVID or not, I don't give a fuck. I'm out for my 40th birthday. I didn't go away for my 30th. I'm going
Mhm.
away for my 40th. Like
You have to.
point blank,
You have
period.
to. Yeah.
It's gonna be lit. I already know what it is. I have the outfits kind of semi planned in my head, like
That's
color
cute.
schemes and shit like that,
Oh my
because I have a
gosh.
problem.
Yeah. Hey, that's goals though. I mean, if you are ready to do it and you just have a couple girlfriends or whatever, or even if it's a solo trip. I
Mm-hmm.
did a lot of solo traveling during well, I won't say during the pandemic, but kind of. And it
This year,
wasn't yeah, and it
yeah.
wasn't anything extravagant. I did some solo trips by myself that just for like, 2 or 3 days just to get away, just to reconnect with myself. It's
Mm-hmm.
important. Mental health, especially in a pandemic, single mother with kids, you got to do
Yeah,
it every
you
now
need a
and then.
break.
Mhm.
You have no breaks whatsoever,
Mhm.
and you're
Yeah.
working from home too, right?
I'm working from home, yeah.
Yeah. Please, no. If anybody was to ever say some shit to you about you taking these little breaks, tell them to come see me because I got some shit to
Right.
say to them. Because I'm
I tell them
sorry.
you can come see me too. Shit. Shit. I don't give a fuck. I gotta have peace of mind to be able to raise these kids and do my work. So
Right. No, definitely. All right. So we're going to go into the last question. And it is, would you rather be on a survival reality show or a dating game show?
ooh, I feel like okay, I'm gonna admit this out loud. It is my first time ever, but I'm actually following The Bachelor this season. I'm
I
following
feel
because
like
it's the first
everyone
black guy.
is.
Oh, okay, good. I was like, you don't wanna because I
I'm
never do
not.
that shit is so fucking corny to me. But this year it's the first time that it's a black guy.
Mm-hmm. I've
And
seen a
he's
picture of him.
corny as fuck
He's cute
too.
though.
He's cute. He looks like the zucchini from
Not
Veggie
the
Tales.
zucchini. You know
Yes, he
what?
does, girl. If you look it up, you look at him and you look at the little zucchini guy from Veggie Tales. He looks like him. He's cute though.
Yeah.
And I'm really liking the show. And it's bad to say it, but it's because they're kind of like they're kind of trashy and kind of bitchy and
Mm-hmm.
they're fucking toxic. These bitches are toxic as fuck on this season
Get out.
compared to what
Really?
I'm hearing from other seasons.
Right.
Um,
Right.
I think I would love to be on a dating show if I was like the person that everybody was fighting for. To
You don't want to
be,
fight for the date.
I don't
Like,
want to fight for the date. No, I will never. Because first of all, he's kissing like 14 bitches in like 30 minutes. I'm good on
yeah.
that. Yeah, I don't want to. I don't want to be a part
You
of
want to
that.
be the one kissing.
I want to be the one kissing if I choose to. I know it would be fun. They'd be like, we got to cancel the show. She done got pregnant, or there's gonna have to be like so many Plan Bs on site. I'm telling you, everybody's gonna. I have to. I have to look at everything before. You're gonna be the person I'm gonna marry. quote
Right.
unquote married, I gotta make sure that the engine is running.
Hello. And that we're compatible. Like, fuck that.
Exactly. Yeah.
Because listen, sometimes you can have great, chemistry with someone and the sex could be
Oh
trash.
my God. Tell me about it. Don't I know it?
It happens way too often, in my
Yeah.
opinion.
Yep.
And listen, I don't know. I don't know if I would be on a dating show. I've never watched The Bachelor. I
Hmm.
only know that there's a Black Bachelor because it's literally all over social media. And I
Yeah, it's
was
all
going to check
over.
it out. I really was, because one of my friends, she had like on her story and she was like reacting to like the episode and she looked like she was enjoying it or whatever.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I just haven't checked it out yet. I Do I want to be on a dating show? I'm not really dating right now, so it's kind of like,
Right.
just the thought of being on a dating show is like, okay,
You would
whatever.
kill if you were on a dating show. They would be ready to kill each other. Trying to get
Aw,
you. Trying to
thank
get you,
you.
girl. You already know it.
I mean, yeah. I also, I if I had to choose between the two, I would probably choose the dating show just because I know I wouldn't survive in like
Yeah.
in a
Well, do you
survival.
watch Naked? Me and the boys watch Naked and Afraid all the time on Discovery Channel. And that
No.
show is wild as fuck. And that's why I was like, I will never do it. Because it's things that are happening that you don't think will happen. You're only allowed to bring one thing. You're completely butt ass naked with one other person you've never met before. And it's co-ed usually. So it's one guy and one girl. And
Mm-hmm.
you're getting sent to like West Bubba fuck Amazon jungle somewhere. And there's things that you don't think about. And you're in the elements for like 14 days or 21 days or something like that. And these people are trying to live in the wild, trying to get food, trying to get water. Like it's insane.
They
I
try
would
to get
never.
food too. Like you don't get
Yeah.
fed.
No, you get nothing, girl. They give you a burlap sack that has a map that tells you where you got to go, and you get to bring one thing. So people will bring like a machete or like a lighter, like the little lighter to light fires or whatever, because there's absolutely nothing.
I wouldn't even
But
know what to
people don't.
bring.
That's what I'm saying. So I'm like, when I watch it, I'm like, hell no, there's so many things I would have to bring because people will bring machete and the other person will bring a lighter, but nobody brings a mosquito net. And you don't realize that when you're in these outdoor areas, you're getting
Yeah.
chewed the fuck up by these
Right.
bugs, everything. These people are insane.
See, no, I couldn't do that.
That's why I was like, let me do the dating because there's indoor plumbing. There's indoor plumbing.
I could never. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
you have to look at
I don't even like camping. Like,
right. I'm okay with camping. I like glamping though.
this
That
is
would
what
be
I'm
good.
saying.
Yeah, exactly. But I grew up camping and I grew up fishing and I'm not afraid of like touching gross things like gutting a fish and all that. I'm not like that girly girl type thing.
Mm-hmm.
But I'm not gonna fucking sleep on the ground without like a sleeping bag or some kind of protection around me. I'm
Right.
scary as
Because they
fuck.
don't
If I
have a
see a spider, I'm out.
girl. Girl, listen, I've never actually been camping. And that's just because like I don't want to sleep on the ground. And my friend, she wants to do a camping trip for her birthday in May. And I'm just like,
Oh my God. Have fun.
I have to go because like
Yeah.
that's my bitch. But I was like, okay, what can I buy to make this
You're gonna love
experience
it.
better for me?
No, you're gonna love it though. There's a lot of stuff you could get. I'll, text you some things. I'm telling you, you've got to at least do it once because most of the time you guys are probably gonna be drunk anyway. You're gonna have so much
That's a
fun.
fact. No, I plan on being drunk the entire time.
There
It's in
you have
May
to
and
be.
I already know.
Yeah, you gotta be drunk. Just do it. It's fun. It's super fun.
Oh my goodness. That's hilarious. I couldn't camping and all of that, but I'll give it a try. Let's see what's going to happen. Okay, so we're going to get into our first segment.
All
And
right.
that is called Eat Your Heart Out. And it's where we talk about diet trends and we give tips and tricks and just things to help our listeners, right? So
Mhm.
today I wanted to talk about the alkaline diet. Have you ever heard of the
Uh-huh.
alkaline diet?
I have heard of it. I don't know. I'm just like, oh, is that like the water?
Yeah.
You're only allowed to drink alkaline water? Is that it?
Right. So alkaline is like a buzzword now, right? Everybody wants their water to be alkaline and all of
Yeah.
that. So because there's many of them, right? There's many variations of the alkaline diet. Dr. Sebi,
Mhm.
actually, his diet was an alkaline diet. So that was one version
Mhm.
of it.
Mhm.
Alkaline diets are tailored to help normalize your pH balance within your body. The premise of them is that your diet can alter the pH value, which measures the acidity or alkalinity of your body.
Mm.
Yeah. So it's a very restrictive diet. Like I was
I
reading
have to
up
assume
on it,
so.
and
Yeah.
you cannot eat literally anything. So before we get into what you can and cannot eat, let me tell you what the pH levels are, right?
Okay.
So your pH level measures how acidic or alkaline something is, right? So a pH of 0 is completely acidic. A pH of 14 is alkaline, right? So it's from 0 to 14. What we want is something around 7, which is neutral. We don't want to be all the way too alkaline. We don't want to be acidic either, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So the fruits that you can eat that are alkaline friendly are fruits, nuts, legumes, vegetables for the most part. Neutral foods are natural fats, starches, and sugars. Acidic foods are meat, poultry, fish, dairy, eggs, grain, and alcohol. Like
no,
girl, you can't have nothing.
No fun. Next one. What's the next one? You can't have shit. Oh my God.
No fun at all. And while like everyone talks about how like the alkaline diet is so great, I feel like it's gotten a lot of more buzz, especially after Nipsey died, because he was real big on like, you know, Dr. Sebi. And then they were saying like that whole controversy and that's why he was killed and all of that. So like it's really gotten a lot of I can't say that word.
Notoriety.
Notoriety.
Come on, girl.
Listen, I just had to stop and think for a second before I said it. So it's gotten a lot of notoriety in the past couple of years because of that. I've heard of the alkaline diet. I actually have a friend. Her mom is such like a holistic woman. Like she's just into all of that. And she used to tell us all the time, like, listen, you have to make sure that your body is balanced because it'll fight off diseases and things like that. They claim that the alkaline diet can actually help with like cancer.
Sure.
Or
I can believe that.
Or preventing cancer. So there's actually, so I've been doing like a lot of research on it. So I'm like, wow, you know, everybody's doing these claims and whatnot. And there's actually no research that says that it can prevent cancer. But
well, that's the research that they're going to tell. They're not going to, you know,
right. I mean,
they would lose so much money. They would lose so much money.
Of course. However, what they couldn't deny is that if you do have cancer and you're on chemotherapy, it actually helps with the toxins that the chemotherapy puts into your body. So so if you're on a more alkaline level and you're more balanced, it actually knocks out all of those toxins, which is fire. It's also good for like renal diseases, kidney stones, UTIs, and things like that. So it's very beneficial, right? Like I didn't find any cons. That's the one thing I can say. I didn't find any cons health-wise as far as eating an alkaline diet. The only con is that you can't eat anything. Like you literally have to only eat. You're
basically what, a jungle animal? You're a farm animal.
I mean, you know,
not even a farm animal because they give you stuff. No, you're basically eating like Bambi.
Yeah. So, you know, if you're ever on Naked and Afraid, that's
there you go.
Alkaline
that's
diet.
Alkaline. Well, they're eating grubs and shit. I'm telling you right now.
Like bugs?
Yes, honey.
I can't.
I've seen one, they killed like a pigeon and they were eating it on a fire. I'm telling you, it's wild. Not to go back to that, but I really want to push that Naked and Afraid is an insane show and everybody needs to watch at least 1 or 2 episodes.
Yo, that's wild. But I mean, if you're eating a pigeon, that's not alkaline. Like you need to stick.
But if you're on Naked and Afraid, you're, oh bitch, I can't eat this pigeon.
Imagine.
It's not, I'm on an alkaline diet. I haven't eaten in 3 days, but this pigeon is not alkaline. I'm not going to eat this. Like, get the fuck out of here. I'm eating the beak, the toes.
All of it. Okay. And I'm saving some because I don't know. I'm not eating a bug tomorrow. All right. I'm going to eat this pigeon wing. Okay. We're going to get it together.
Okay. Right. You better imagine this some Popeyes, girl, which is also not alkaline. So we can talk about that after the 14 days.
Literally nothing is alkaline. Okay. Yeah. Like literally. It's so crazy. And I would love to try this diet. But for me, I feel like now in the age that I'm in, I'm more on a balanced kind of plan. Like, you know, like I'm trying to have more of a balanced diet. And that sounds so fucking cliche because we've been hearing that shit in fucking cereal commercials since we were like 2 years old.
Yeah.
But that's really
now.
but that's really exactly what I want. So like I want to introduce more alkaline foods, maybe drink more alkaline water because everybody is big on the alkaline water. What's the Essentia? That's alkaline, right?
Essential. Essential.
Essentia.
I'm pretty sure it is, and it's funny because I want to say that Lil Boosie did a thing where he bought all the bottled waters that are like the most popular, and he did a pH test on all of them.
I
Did
saw
you see
someone
that?
do it. I didn't see Boosie do it, but I saw a video on that a while ago, and I think Dasani was like really acidic or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was crazy. The one that was when it was like Fiji was really acidic. It was crazy. Don't let me say the names of it. There, but oh, you said that we were. I don't want to get sued,
Right. We
but
don't
I
know
don't
for
remember
real.
which one. We don't know for sure. Let me put an asterisk at the end of that. We don't know which one's for sure, but it was for sure one that I'm like, oh, I'm always buying it, and I was like,
Yeah.
oh well, damn, it's hella acidic. It's tap water basically.
The nerve. The nerve of this bottled water to be so expensive and then it
Right,
still be mad acidic. Like I don't
bottled at the source of the water faucet in the kitchen, basically.
Oh my goodness. That is hilarious. What is your favorite brand of water?
Feel like so Target. I'm
I'm
starting with
always
Target.
interested to hear what
Listen, oh
everybody's brand of water is because we're in
yeah,
different places and different places
right,
have different waters. So go ahead.
right. And I will say, you said Dasani, and I like Dasani because I like that like a tingly taste.
Okay.
And then it's crazy because literally right now, Good and Gather is from Target,
Uh-huh.
and they have a really good purified drinking water. And you can get a
Yeah.
case of 24 for like $7.
Okay. All
And
right.
so
That's not bad.
I always keep it in the car for the kids or whatever, but I be drinking them like crazy. They're so good.
Yeah.
I like the taste. It tastes very fresh.
Okay. I've never had that. I think that might just be like a West Coast thing.
It might
Over
be, yeah.
here, we have Poland Spring. Like
Yeah,
that's
and I
like a
never
big
liked
one.
it.
You didn't
Ugh,
like Poland Spring?
no, it
Why?
tastes like toilet water smells.
You think
I
so?
never, yes, I never really was a fan of it.
Interesting. I mean, I always used to get Poland Spring because like that was the one that was in the stores for the most part. It wasn't like they had this water and it was like a 50-cent water, but it was like in a 16-ounce bottle. So it was cheap as fuck, right? And whatever plastic they used, it definitely had BPA. I don't care what
Yeah, for
anybody
sure.
says.
For sure. For sure.
It definitely had BPA because whatever that water tasted exactly like the bottle. Like
Yeah,
it never it was
yeah.
disgusting. But I drink Poland Spring. I like Essentia. Essentia water is good. I mean, in New York, like our tap water is considered drinkable here.
Yeah.
So like I just really have
They're
a
still
Brita.
telling you guys that lie. I feel like that's not true, but I mean, I never had a problem. And I also lived in the Bronx, so I feel like the Bronx water was kind of like iffy a little bit for me.
I have a
But I
Brita.
still,
I have a filter.
yeah.
So I filter
Okay.
my water. But yeah, no, like I don't really buy water because listen, I don't want to carry all of that. It's heavy. I don't have a car. Okay.
Right.
Tired of my shopping cart. I have to walk up steps. Like, I'll just have my Brita, make sure my filter is nice and clean, and I'll
There
have
you
my own
go.
filtered New York City water, you know?
There you go. And they have tablets and stuff that you could, if you fill up like the big one that you could put into the fridge that has like a spout. They
Mhm.
have those tablets that you could put in there also. And it'll
Really?
give that, yeah. And it's I don't even know. I think they use them when they do the things out in Africa and everything when they purify with tablets. And
Mm.
it helps the water cleanse, it purifies it, and it gives it like that good fresh taste as well. She's like writing down
Okay.
notes.
You see me, right? You see, I look to the side. I'm like, look up tablets
Tablets.
for water. I'm always trying to, get better things because it's true what they say. Like you said, they keep telling you that lie. These are things that we grew up thinking. And if you don't really know, or if you've never really like checked up on it, you could be just fucking yourself over. I mean, I'm pretty sure, and this is like extreme, but I'm sure they told people in Flint, Michigan that the water was okay. You know what I'm saying?
You see how long they were drinking it for. Look how long they were bathing in it, drinking
Mm-hmm.
it, everything. Just terrible. And it's still a
Yeah.
problem even now. So
It's
we had
so
the issue
disgusting.
here. We had the issue here because we have really old schools that are still, I'm in Oakland. So we have a lot of old historical schools that are still up. And my son goes to middle school slash elementary slash middle school. And they recently, about a year or two ago, had to stop and pull out all of the water fountains because they found out that there was high traces of lead. They got
Ooh.
sued.
From
They
like
got
the
sued so
old
bad
pipes and stuff
from
like
the
that,
old
right?
pipes. Yeah, there was so much old pipes. They never thought to do it. And so we're more urban. And so I feel like they put a lot of the money, that's a whole nother conversation, but a lot of the money was not going into these schools.
Of course.
Obviously, they're going into other schools.
Mm-hmm.
And so this whole time, kids were drinking this water fountain water, and it was just like a bunch of lead.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they got in a lot of trouble.
I think people really need to pay attention to when buildings were built and
Yep,
when these pipes were put in, right?
exactly. Yeah,
Because back in whatever have you, lead was fine. Like you could use lead,
yeah,
it wasn't an issue. Nobody gave a fuck. And then I guess
yeah.
people just forgot that they used lead in all these pipes, and we've been
Yep,
drinking this shit for years.
yep.
And you don't know what
And
that.
it seeps into the soil too. So even when you're growing things, it's affecting the things that you're growing.
Yeah, water is literally like life, right? Like we're
Yeah,
made of
it
water.
is.
Everything,
Yeah,
everything needs water. So
yeah,
it literally goes in. It changes the cells and all of that shit. So if it's contaminated, it's going to contaminate you or whatever it goes
exactly.
into. So
Exactly.
people should definitely be more mindful. And I'm gonna look into those tablets because now you got me
I'm telling
scared.
you.
Because I'm like, I mean, I always had my filtered water, but still,
Right.
like, I don't know, maybe that's
No,
not
you
enough.
should be fine. You should be fine.
Now I'm nervous. I'm
Let
like
me not
looking
scare.
on
Let me not do
Amazon.
that. I gotta stop. I gotta stop running my mouth about certain things. Let me stop. You'll be all right.
No, it's good because it gives a different perspective and it gives people things to think about, right?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
you probably are good, but it's always good to just double check to make
Yeah,
sure
of
because you
course.
can't take people's words for it either.
Yeah, that's true.
Mm-hmm. So now that we're done with that, we talked about food, we talked about water, we talked about acid, I don't know, all types of shit.
We
Naked and
talked about
Afraid 3
acid.
times.
Everybody watch Naked and Afraid. Disney Channel, Discovery Channel. I'm telling you guys, it's insane.
Naked and Afraid. I'm gonna check it out for sure.
You have
I'm probably
to.
gonna be like, I'm gonna be staring at my screen like, what the fuck
You
are
are
they
going
eating?
to cringe. I'm telling you right now, but you have to watch it.
That's wild. All right, we're going to get into our next segment, which is Heart on My Sleeve. And this is where we dive a little bit deeper and talk about real life struggles that we are facing at the moment. And since we're on the subject of balancing things out, I wanted to talk to you about the balancing act that single motherhood is,
Ooh.
especially during this pandemic,
Yeah.
because we had a quick conversation off the mic and we were just talking about how wild it's been for like the past, it's almost going to be a year. I mean, it's February.
Yep. In March. Yeah.
I'm still so amazed at how the year just flew by and how everything went and the changes. Like a year ago today, I think, what's today? Today is a Thursday. Well,
today's the 4th.
It's about to be Super Bowl, right?
Yeah.
So a year ago, last year, around this time, like I was getting ready to go to like a brunch for my friend's birthday. And we were like, it was no cares in the world. I was going on a trip to Puerto Rico. I literally flew to Puerto Rico. And it's so funny because me and my friend, we were at the airport and we were making fun of people because some people were walking around with masks already. And, like this was mid-February.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, oh, like the fuck, like you're exaggerating. This is too much, whatever. And some people were walking around with masks. And when we got back, it was literally like 2 weeks later, the fucking country shut down.
Yeah, everything was shut down. I'm so glad that you guys even were able to come back.
Yeah. We
because
missed that cutoff like
oh my
by a couple of days. It's so crazy.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's
anyways,
insane.
Getting back to motherhood, how has it been with you since last March?
So it's actually been really crazy. So when everything started, we got the call in March from my job that it was going to be a situation where we're not going to be able to come in, or it was going to be very sporadic. And because I'm head of facilities for this tech company out here, and so I more so would have to go in more than anybody else would because I have to make sure I take care of the facility and vendors and blah blah blah. That was cut, and a lot of the vendors were starting to send emails and things saying, we're gonna back up a little bit and we're gonna get back with you, blah blah blah. And the kids were still in school, through March, and towards like the end of March and April is when they were saying, okay, this is getting serious. We need
Mm-hmm.
to close the school. So then I'm like, what does this look like for me? I'm still, working. I'm still kind of going in and out of the office because at that point it was serious, but not that serious.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Definitely wasn't taking public transportation, any of that kind of stuff. But I was still feeling like, well, they'll come home with me. And maybe if I have to go in the office, they'll just come with me because
Right.
nobody was there. Man, that flipped in April when it was like nobody go any damn where. And we were
Mm-hmm.
inside and it was just the kids were not, there was no virtual schooling yet. They were still trying to figure out like, what are we going to do? We have to get all these laptops and everything like that. And so we were just kind of winging it.
Yeah.
We finally got the laptops and stuff, and then work saying, okay, we're shut down.
Hmm.
And they said to be safe, we're going to be out until June. And I'm thinking, wow, June, that's a long time away. And here we are today, and we still haven't been back to the office. And now they're saying June again for us this year.
Oh,
And so
wow.
who knows? Yeah, because this vaccine or whatever is out. And so
Yeah.
that's a whole thing. But being home with them and not having the support of the other parent
Mm-hmm.
for their own reasons is something I already was a single mom, but
Right.
at least I had other help from, daycare, after school program, things like that
Yes.
to kind of help me go along. I am knees in the dirt 24/7, 365 with my kids.
Mm-hmm.
And I know they are so tired of me.
They tired of your
I know
bullshit already.
they are so tired of my shit. And let me tell you, it's so funny because when I started, I was Susie Homemaker, girl. Everything was spick and span clean. We had hot dinner on and I cook a lot already, but now I was more diligent about it. And I put
Right.
more thought into these meals, and like we were vegetarians for like 2 or 3 months or whatever. And it was like a whole thing, and everything was fine. And it got old so quick. It
The
was
novelty of it all just
Oh
wore
my
off.
God, girl, I was cooking up a storm and I'm like, okay. And, the kids started looking a little thick in the waist. So I'm like, okay, we're going to do vegetarian now. So we did that for a little bit. But emotionally, it has been a struggle, especially for me because I don't get a break.
Mm-hmm.
And I struggle to find like the peace of mind that I really, really need in order to, gather myself and be the person that they need me to be. It's a struggle.
Yeah, I mean, we're talking about you're working from home,
Hmm.
virtual learning, then social distancing, so you don't have the
Yeah,
outlet to like
right,
chill.
right.
The economy is in the shit. The government
Mhm.
is on their bullshit. So it's like
Yep,
it's just so much to try to like keep everything together.
it is.
It's
It is.
crazy.
Yeah.
I when the pandemic started, my son was actually, so I co-parent with his dad. His dad lives in Brooklyn. I live in the Bronx, right? So it's
Hmm.
it's a commute, right?
It's a commute.
We live like 2 hours away from each other,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So when it started, he was actually in his dad's house, and then his father got COVID.
Oh
So
no.
he had to stay there for, at that time, they were saying 14 to 21 days. So he stood there for the whole 3 weeks.
Yeah.
I was alone for 3 weeks and I
Mm.
wanted to pull my hair out. It was
See, I'm
it
telling
was
you.
insane because again, I couldn't go anywhere. I was stuck in the
Mhm.
house by myself. I didn't have my son. His father had a virus that nobody knew what the fuck that meant, like I didn't
Exactly.
know if my son got it. Like it was nerve-wracking. But then, by the grace of God, everybody is fine. His dad recovered, no problems. Ethan has the antibody, so I guess he had it at some
Hmm.
point, and he's just fine now. But
Yeah.
when September came along, I had to quit my job because I was still working during
Yeah.
the
Were you
pandemic.
going in
I was
during
going
okay to going?
in to the
Oh my
office. It was
gosh.
on a, it wasn't every day. We were alternating days. So it
Hmm.
was like 2 or 3 times a week, depending on what day it landed on or
So
whatever, or
like
what week it
hybrid.
was. Right.
Yeah, like hybrid. Okay.
And I mean, New York City, it literally looked like I Am Legend. I say this all the time.
I saw pictures, and again, I used to live there for all those years, and I've never seen Times Square at any time of the day that you go there. There's always something going on.
Oh, for sure.
These pictures were eerie as fuck. I've never seen it with
Hmm.
not even one person on the street. It was crazy.
It was wild. Like you could literally walk on, because I worked on the Upper East Side. So you could literally walk on like Madison or Fifth or Park or whatever, right in the middle of the street. You could just walk.
And there was nothing.
There were no cars. There was no one anywhere. The trains were scary because there was no, like, I remember I would get on the train and we were only working half days at the time. So it would be like 2-3 o'clock, mid-afternoon in the spring, you know, it's bright out, you know, all of that. And there was no one there except for like bums and crackheads. It was scary. Okay. It was a really eerie time here in New York City. But anyway, so when September came, I had to quit my job because I didn't have childcare. Like my son, he's doing virtual learning. I didn't want to send him back. Like I said, he has autism, and it's just like, I just didn't want it, you know, like I didn't know what was going on and all of that. So I quit my job. I'm staying home, and I became a full-time stay-at-home mom. While I'm not working per se, I'm still working on like the podcast and things like that. It's still crazy to have to get up every day and sit next to him on this. I'm going to school. Like, and I'm sure with your younger one, you can experience that too. Because when they're older, you can leave them for the most part, you know, like as long as you sign them in, make sure the internet, whatever. But the baby, well, your baby's 5, right?
Yeah, I still call him the baby. He's still a baby.
I still call mine the baby. So
he's still the baby, yeah.
So sitting there and being in school the whole day while still having to do everything else when it comes to the household, when it comes to your other kids, like how have you coped with that?
Again, I really feel like it's been tough, and I think that I can't do any. So the whole thing about it is that my dad, before everything happened, I don't leave my kids with people. You know, I'm not comfortable doing that. Some people are like, oh, you're hovering. No, I'm not. I'm being safe. I don't want my kids going anywhere like that.
No, I agree. 100%.
Yeah, of course. And so it was really only like my dad and his wife would look after them. My aunt, who is like my rock, or my brother who lives up the street.
Okay.
My brother and my aunt were always like really diligent about, you know, are you okay? Is everything good? Blah, blah, blah. But my brother is doing his own business, running his own business, photography, and he travels a lot. And I was like, well, you're out because you travel way too much for my comfort, and I don't want them around just in case you're picking it. I mean, he was in like Atlanta, Texas. I'm like, dude, you're going to the hot spots. Like, I'm good. My aunt, you know, she's older. She still works though, and she'll always say yes. And I don't want her to always say yes. I want to make sure she doesn't feel like obligated. But my dad's wife is you know, she has autoimmune immunodeficiencies and stuff, and so she can't risk it whatsoever. So it's been tough for us. We've only been able to FaceTime, and we haven't seen them since last year.
Oh my goodness!
Like once or twice from the car. You know, but it really has been so tough, and thank God for FaceTime. But for me, it's been so hard to do anything. And, you know, peace of mind for me is being able to get myself gathered after like 10 p.m., which also is terrible because then I'm not going to bed.
Right.
And I'm staying up because I need to hold on to like some sort of something peace for myself. And I feel like I think all of us are getting into this depression kind of thing, but we're just like functioning depression with this whole thing going on because we're not able to be around people. And we realize that we are social beings, and we need to be social. And I think that's why a lot of people are still out and living their life however they want to live it, because they're like, well, fuck it. I mean, if I'm going to go like this, I'm going to go like this, but I'm not going to stay in my house and be scared for the rest of my life, because we don't know what's going to happen. The world has completely changed forever. You know,
everyone keeps on saying like, oh, when it gets back to normal. I don't think it's ever going to go back.
It's never going to be. But I will say this, the one thing that I'm glad we took from this is fucking 6 feet. Get the fuck away from me when we're in line at the grocery store. Girl, bitch. I don't want
keep that same energy when it's no longer COVID. Okay.
Get the fuck away. Get the fuck away. Look, you see the outline from the sticker that used to be on the floor that said 6 feet. Stand your ass in that sticker. Get the fuck away from me. I'm telling you right now, because my bubble now when you say, oh, you know, he's not 6 feet, it's not offensive.
Right. Right.
It's
Before
like
people would
give
want to
somebody in the
fight
eye.
you.
Yeah, they're like, what the fuck you mean? Like, yeah, you're breathing on my neck. But now it's like, oh, and everybody's like conscious of it. And they're like, oh shit, I'm not 6 feet. Let me stand back. Oh my God, I love it. That's the best
Yeah.
thing that ever came out of this.
No,
Best
seriously.
thing that ever came.
That, and also like when you're sick, stay home.
Yeah.
Because how
Get the
many
fuck out of
times
here.
did people go to work? Did people go to school and with a cold or a
Yeah.
cough or something? And you're just spreading
Right.
your germs
Ugh,
everywhere. And I
I
feel like
know.
now people are more conscious because it's like, I don't want them, I don't want to be the cause that everybody's getting sick or whatever
Right.
have you. So I think that's a good thing from it because
Right.
we didn't think twice about it. You just be
We're
like you'll go
decent.
to your friend's house and be like, yeah, I just have a little cold. I have the
Yeah, no,
sniffles.
no, no. Get the fuck out of here. Because, well, we don't. The things that we're doing now, I'm like, why the fuck weren't we already? Why wasn't there already hand sanitizer at the doors of the grocery stores? Why weren't we already like expected to spray down our carts before we go shopping?
Right.
Why were we not already like 6 feet from each other? Why were we not wearing masks already? You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's
Yeah.
I think here in the US, we're just very like every man for themselves mentality
Mm-hmm.
sometimes. And I kind of don't like that. Everybody wants to be this independent and whatever. And you go to these other countries like in Asia, you'll see people wearing masks for years and years. And
Mm-hmm.
their reasoning is because if they have something, they don't want to give it to their fellow man.
Yeah.
So I'm like, why aren't we like that? It's
Because we're
just okay. I
selfish.
see people pulling their mask down to cough or sneeze. What the fuck? No, keep that shit inside your own mask.
That defeats the whole
It
entire
defeats
purpose
the
of the
whole purpose.
mask. Like, what
I
are we
know.
doing? I mean,
I
I'm not going
know.
to hold you. Have you ever
Right.
sneezed or coughed in your mask? Because it's gross. I
It's
have.
gross as fuck. It's gross as fuck. And I choose to like lift the bottom part so nobody sees it. Don't tell anybody. I guess I just waited. But I'm talking about people that are completely pulling it all the way down and like, ah, shoot, like, come on,
Right.
get the fuck out of here.
Right. Like,
I'm at
that.
least getting some air, some oxygen in and like letting it circulate out.
You're still supposed to cover,
Yeah,
like
you
with your
still gotta
elbow.
cover.
Like,
Right.
you're just out here coughing. Like, nobody gives a
Yeah.
fuck. Like, it's not a fucking whole deadly ass virus in the air. Like, what are
That's
we
what I'm
doing
saying.
here?
I know, and I'll be damned. And so I'll bring this up too. And it's funny because we have been safe for the most part. I did a lot of not, and I shouldn't say a lot. My goal for 2020 was to travel once a month because I hadn't been doing that and I hadn't been taking like self care.
Mm-hmm.
And so in 2020, I said, well, this is going to be my New Year's resolution. I had things planned up all the way until June for my birthday. Nothing happened.
Oh, boy.
Nothing happened. And so the only thing I did was, went back a couple of times to LA. And that, again, that was like solo stuff. And I have like a sister that's there.
Mm-hmm.
And so it'd just be pretty much that. And just to mentally get away and recharge to come back and take care of these kids again. But wouldn't you know it, on New Year's Eve, I was feeling really, really sick.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, well, we haven't been anywhere. I haven't gone anywhere. And at that point, I hadn't. And my aunt is like, you don't look well. You're pale. I had the chills. My eyes were really hurting. I went and I got a test and it turns out I got COVID.
Wow. So your
So I
eyes
got
were hurting? I've never
my
heard that
eyes were
before.
hurting. Yeah, a lot of people were saying, wow, I never heard that. My ocular cavities were so sore that I couldn't even drive and this was before I found out that I had the test, before I got the test.
Right.
And I was driving and I was trying to look on the side view mirrors or in my blind spots, and it was absolute. I didn't even know how I got home. I
Oh,
couldn't believe
wow.
that I'd never had a pain like that before. And it wasn't a migraine. It was just my ocular cavities were so swollen and sore that it hurt so bad. And let me tell you that I stayed in, me and the boys, I quarantined with the kids
Mm-hmm.
for 2.5 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know how I did it. My village of people, like on Instagram and stuff like that, people were sending me DoorDash like gift certificates.
Mm-hmm.
If it wasn't for them, like, I don't know how I would have gotten through it at
Could you
all.
imagine trying to cook 3 meals a day while you're
Yeah.
feeling like shit?
I've had to do it before when I've been sick, but this is a different kind of sick. And I keep telling people it lingers. It's still lingering with me, like a cough and stuff like that. But starting it, I did have to get up. I did have to cook. They were doing virtual learning still. I still
Right.
had to make sure they were doing all these things. I basically was crawling around the house trying to make sure everybody was fine. And I just had to be in the bed the whole time. It was insane. I couldn't believe that I was able to do it.
Yeah. So is it like a full-on flu? Like, did you feel like you had the flu, or was it worse than the flu, would you say?
So I felt, and I guess everybody, because my sister had it early on and she didn't feel it the way I did, but her husband did. And
Mm,
so me and her husband had the same thing where he felt it for days and days from start to finish. He felt it. Me too.
mm,
She felt it for 3 days and then just quarantined, but she felt better.
right.
Um, I had it. I had those feelings that you get with those chills and like you can't get warm and all those kinds of things before I got the test. And I was like,
Hmm.
oh, I must be coming down with the flu.
Yeah.
And after I found out about what it was, more symptoms started coming, and it was that body soreness, the muscle aches that really, really get you. I felt like it was the flu, like on steroids, but
Mm,
never any nausea, never any like nausea, vomiting, or anything like that. But yeah, it was pretty intense.
that's crazy. And so with the kids, so you did a lot of DoorDash and a lot of deliveries, or did you have to
Yeah,
still like you okay.
no,
Yeah.
I had to do DoorDash. Thank God I have it. The boys are 10, 8, and 5. And so the 10-year-old really stepped it up and he really, I would say, I'm going to order something on DoorDash. What do you guys want? Some super. And that's the other thing is you lose your appetite. You don't want to eat anything at all, but you have to.
Right.
So I would order their food or whatever. And the people just come through the gate and my son would go and he'd pick it up.
Mm.
And then he would, go out there and like help and set up their little food and stuff, which was
Oh,
I
and 10
know
is
he
still a
really 10 is
baby.
still a baby, but he would make toast for them in the morning. He knows how to
Yeah.
do cereal and stuff like that.
Right, right,
But
right.
I think that I probably, and now talking about it, I really need to do something special for him because I feel like he really stepped it up as like the little man of the house. He really helped me a lot with the other two.
Aw, I'm gonna
Yeah.
cry. That is
I
so
know it was
adorable.
really, I know when I think about it back, I'm just like, I need to do something really special for him because he really helped. He really helped.
And this is the thing, like we were just talking about, like, oh my God, they're driving us crazy. They're on top of us all the time. But then it's like
Yeah.
they do things like this, and you're just like, this is why I love you so much. And I just want to squeeze you. Like,
Yeah. I know. And it was hard for the baby because he's attached. Like I said earlier, he's so attached. And for me to have to see his face when he'd come into, are you still sick? Can I hug you yet? And I'm like, oh, you
mm-hmm.
can't hug me yet. Worst, like 2 weeks of my life. I couldn't hug my
um,
baby. And then after that, I was just like, oh my God. And just like everything after we were all cleared and everything, I was just like kissing his face and
so they didn't
squeezing
get
them.
sick.
They never got sick.
Oh, God,
The
thank
good
God.
Lord was like, I'm not going to give you that much.
Could you imagine?
I couldn't imagine.
Oh
I
my,
couldn't imagine.
listen, I would have had to call somebody for reinforcements. Like, listen,
Yeah,
I can't do this. And I'm gonna
yeah,
need someone to come help me
yeah.
because
Somebody have to. And I fully was in a situation where I think as moms, we pull that strength from God knows where. Who knows
mm-hmm,
where we get it from? I know for a fact that if it ended up that they were sick, that I was going to push through and take care of them. I mean, I have
yeah,
to. They're my kids.
mm-hmm,
You just got to do it. You hope it doesn't happen, but if it did, I was preparing myself mentally like, you guys are in my face too much and I'm trying to keep you guys out of this room. It's going to happen though. And so I don't know. I was
yeah.
preparing myself for that. Yeah.
What precautions were you taking? Like, so were you quarantined like in your own room and not coming out? Well, I mean, you had to
Yeah.
come out eventually,
I had
but
to come out. We're in a 2-bedroom apartment, so
mhm,
it's not like
there's a lot of
spacious like
space.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's only one bathroom. It's 2 bed, one bath. And so the only thing I would say is like I would stay in my room as much as I could with the door kind of cracked because I needed to be able to hear them.
Right.
And I would specifically tell them you cannot come in unless it's like an emergency. So they would really talk like at the door. They would try to come in or whatever. My son would like bring water for me or whatever like
Oh.
that. And
Mm-hmm.
if I use the restroom, then I'd make sure I'd like spray and kind of wipe down whatever I touched. And
Yeah.
but for the most part, we were pretty much just like go going along with it as best
Mm-hmm.
we could.
Yeah. And it's like, and then you don't even know where you got it, right? Like
Right.
you can get it
That was
anywhere.
the big thing.
You can get it
Yeah.
anywhere. So
And I feel like I got it at the grocery store. I have no idea where I got it from.
that's I can get it, you can get it in the store, you can
Yep.
get it anywhere. It really doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Like once that pathogen or whatever is in the air, it's in the air. And if it
Yeah.
comes into you, like It's a wrap. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be out in the street thotting and bopping to get COVID. Like you can get COVID whichever way. You could never be outside. I know someone who literally has been quarantining and only going outside for essentials and got COVID.
See, I'm telling you, it's like inevitable. Almost. It's almost inevitable that you're going to get it. And my aunt said it too. She says, I think this is going to be a thing that everybody ends up getting it. And you know what's crazy about it is that when everything started, there was a situation where there was people in 2019, November, December of 2019, people were sick as fuck.
That was me.
They were sick as fuck.
Mm-hmm. And me and my son. So I don't know if he got it from his dad or if we had it in New Year's of 2019. We were dead to the world for about 3 to 4 days. Like literally, it was terrible. And everybody was like, oh, we went to the doc. So this is how it went. He was sick, right? And usually during Christmas break, for whatever reason, my son always has a cold or something. I don't know what it is. So I was just like, oh, he just has his yearly cold and whatever. And I'm looking at him and he's looking real like drowsy and like lethargic and whatever. So I take his temperature. And like this was before like everyone had a bunch of thermometers in the house, right? Because it wasn't COVID yet. But I had like one of those temporal thermometers and it said he had 105 fever. Yeah. When I tell you, my heart literally fell to my feet. I was just like, oh, I didn't even know what to do. Like I got dressed so fast. We ran to City MD, which is like down the block. It's like an urgent care center. And I was in there. They were telling me I had to wait. I'm here crying, screaming. I'm like, they're saying he has 100. Like I was like, can you just take his temperature? Because if it's 105, like he could die. Like what are we doing here? So whatever, he was fine. I guess it was my thermometer and it just wanted to give me a little heart attack.
Oh my God, girl. I was like, his brain would have been like liquid. I can't
melted.
Even...
Yeah. That's why I was so scared.
Oh my God.
So whatever, it was still high. It was 101.
Okay.
Right.
That's still a good...
It's high. Yeah. It's high, but it's not 105. You know what I'm saying?
105.
Scared me. But anyway, so we go there and we go to the urgent care. They say, oh, he took the flu test. So like it was like was it a nasal swab for the flu test? Or was it
for like H1N1 type something or other? Yeah. I think like whatever. They might have still been doing the nose swab.
So they were doing that and they said he doesn't have the flu, but he has flu-like symptoms. Right?
Oh my God, girl.
Yeah. And then, so they gave us a medication that is supposed to be just for the flu. Right. And they were like, have him take this and, lots of fluids, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then they were like, they prescribed me the medication as well. Cause they're like, he's going to be all up under you. So you take it because you're bound to get sick. Like this is contagious. Right. So I go, I fill the medication, whatever. We both take the medicine. And both of us literally vomit the medication. We had like an adverse reaction to that medication. Whatever that medication was, it wasn't for what we had because our body literally rejected it. And it was like, we didn't, not even at the same time. Cause people would be like, well, if you saw someone vomit, maybe, no. I gave it to him first. He took it, threw up. I went to take it and I'm like, I'm an adult. Like I'll just take it. 20 minutes later, I'm vomiting. Like,
no way.
Yeah. It was crazy. So I'm pretty.
Was it a drink or like a pill or like what?
I had a pill. He had a liquid. So it was like,
oh my gosh.
Like it's not like it was contaminated or anything because we both had the same thing. Like, no, I had a pill and he had a liquid and we were still just rejecting it. It was insane. We were dead for like 3 days. My mom, so this was pre-COVID. So my mom came and she brought me like soup. I literally did not leave my couch for like 3 days.
Yeah, you couldn't.
He was on the big couch because, why wouldn't the 11-year-old be on the big couch? And I was on the small couch because, mom.
Of course, mom. Everybody else is comfortable before mom. Yes, I know.
And it's crazy. And there were a lot of people who were sick, like you were saying, during that time. My sister got sick in January. One of my friends got sick. And nobody knew.
And nobody knew what it was. And it's crazy because the kid's dad, same thing. And about maybe November, December, he was down for 2 weeks and I'd never seen him like that before. His eyes were red rimmed. He was like skinny and pale. He was like
Mm-mm.
always cold. He was saying he was so cold, but he was still, doing his regular. He's like, it must be the flu, or like I've never had something like this before. And
Mm-hmm.
he was down and out on his couch at his place. And I remember him saying, "Oh, I agreed to house sit for my friend." And he went to house sit for a week. And I think for that week, he said he just stayed on the couch there.
Mm.
He's like, I couldn't even move. I had to feed like the dog or take the dog out for a walk. He's like, it's the worst shit in the world when I had to take the dog for a walk because the muscle aches and everything
Mm-hmm.
associated, but there was never any vomiting or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yours is only attributed to the fact that you had to take whatever medicine that this
Yeah.
was. But I'm so convinced that it was already here.
Well, it's called COVID-19, so it came out
Yeah.
in 2019, right? It
Oh, is
just
that
didn't.
why is this the 19?
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, girl.
I was like, oh, it must be some scientific X397 or some shit. I don't know. That makes so much sense now. Oh my God.
So I
That makes
think
so
it
much sense.
I think it first emerged like in October, November of 2019.
Yeah.
So, I live in New York. It's like a hub. You live in the Bay Area.
In
There's
the
a
Bay
lot of
Area.
people there.
There's a lot.
And
Yeah.
if it
We're
started in
like 1 in
Asia,
5 right now. We're like 1 in 5 right now.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
It's
imagine.
crazy. Yeah.
It's like, I'm sure all it took was one person to get it. And then like it spread so fast. Like that's what everybody says. That's why these numbers are crazy. So if you
Yeah.
caught it, like I'm convinced that I
Yeah.
had it in December. No one can tell me
Yeah.
different. And I'm glad that you brought it up before I said it, because every time I say
Yeah.
it, people look at me like, "Oh, you just want to be
No.
down." Like, no,
Nope.
bro.
No. It was a real thing. And I feel like because we didn't know what was going on, there was no there's no knowledge on how to prevent it or
Mhm.
and to take proper precaution from it.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
that's you can't tell me any differently. I know for sure that people had it in those
definitely.
months. Yeah,
Definitely.
that wasn't anything like the flu.
So I can only imagine it. That was it was New Year. So Ethan wasn't in school or whatever. And even if he was, there was no virtual learning. So we were just going to be home anyway. So I couldn't
Right.
imagine being that sick and still
Yeah.
having to like really do every day-to-day things that you
Yeah.
have to do, that have to get
Yeah.
done.
Yeah. And work is amazing. I work in tech, and usually when tech, they're very understanding and they're very, family forward and want to make sure that, and so thank God for my team because they just like picked up the slack that I had, and they were just like ran with it and went rest, get your rest, and they all know that I'm here with the kids anyway, and their goal is to make sure that they are happy and healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Um and I just really think that this time and like being sick, it really tested my gangster and my strength and I never thought I'd have to go through something to that extent. And I hope I never do again. But if I do, I feel like I'll be ready.
Yeah.
But I don't want to. I don't want to.
Ever.
But if I do,
Ever again.
yeah,
So
if I do.
let me ask you something. Are
Uh-huh.
you going to take the vaccine? This is such like a
Oh
controversial
man.
ass question.
It is a controversial question because my thing is I feel like it's way too early on for us to tell
Mm-hmm.
what kind of effects it's going to have on people in the long run or anything. I don't like to take first courses of anything,
Right. I don't even get
honestly.
the first phone. Like when the first
Yeah,
drop of phone
I
comes out.
don't exactly. Like I don't want to do any of that, and it makes me nervous, especially to put the kids in a situation where their pediatrician might be like, "Oh, I want you guys to take this vaccine, blah blah blah, whatever." And I feel like now the government is like, well, then you're not going to be able to travel unless you show us documentation that you took this thing, and like all these things that I feel like could be somewhat necessary, but at the same time, I don't want to have to do it.
Right.
I don't want to be told that I have to take this medicine because
Mm-hmm.
of X, Y, and Z. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want that. I don't know. I'm still up in the air about it. I have a lot of friends that have taken it. I know a lot of people in the medical industry who have
Mm-hmm.
already taken it too, and I'm just like, I've seen good and I've seen bad. I don't know what
Right.
to think yet. I don't feel like I've seen enough to make a decision yet.
Yeah. I'm holding back on it as well. Like I'm
Yeah.
not 100% like, no, I'm never going to take the vaccine because I'm not going to say
Yeah.
that. Like it's not like I've never
Yeah.
taken a vaccine in my life, you know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
exactly. Exactly.
But it is too soon. Like
Yeah.
they just started doing it. Who were they testing it on? It's just it's a lot. It's a lot in there, and we don't know what the adverse effects are for years to come because like yeah, okay, we're not going to get COVID now or whatever, even though
Yeah.
I feel like they say the vaccine doesn't even prevent you from getting all the strains of COVID. Like you could still
Yeah.
get COVID, you could still pass it on, you could still
Hmm.
be contagious. So it's just like, so what the fuck am I doing this for?
Yeah.
We're still going to have to take the same precautions we're taking now. I
Hmm.
just might have a higher chance of getting COVID. I haven't gotten it yet. I mean,
Yeah, it's different.
within the
It's going to be
quarantine.
different for everybody. It's going to be different for everybody. And what I've been seeing is, a lot of the people that are passing away as of late, have, they had just taken the vaccine. Like I know Hank Aaron passed away, and I want to say like not even a week before he had
I did
taken
not
the
know that.
vaccine. Yeah, and so it's just one of those things too where we don't really know if that's what it was, because who knows if he had been sick with it, if he had
Right.
underlying issues, and also he was really old as well, so he was
Yeah.
a senior citizen, and maybe his body just shut down from something that was in the vaccine, because I have
Mm-hmm.
to assume that they have to give you some portion of
Right.
the virus, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like a watered down version so that you could build antibodies to it.
Yeah.
And I wonder if that's what it was. Larry King, that was another one as well. And so
Mm-hmm.
it's just, we don't really know. There's just not enough that I can see to convince me to just go ahead and take it right away.
Blindly.
Definitely
Yeah.
not for my kids. Definitely not for my kids.
Yeah. It's a lot because I don't, 10 years from now, we may be getting fucking notifications. And the thing is like, it's still man-made. It's a drug, right? There's
Yeah.
still contamination that can happen. There's
Yeah.
still a bunch of things can happen. And it can be like, oh, well, if you took the COVID vaccine in Harlem in May of 2021,
I'm
like
telling you, you
you
may
could
be
be,
entitled to some compensation.
we don't
Mesothelioma.
know. Like
Well,
they
we see
messed
what
up.
happened with asbestos. How many years did it take after popcorn ceilings? Okay, years and years went by. Mesothelioma pops up
Mm-hmm.
from it. Now
Because
people
we
are
don't
getting
know.
compensation from, because we don't know.
And there's
You know.
when you only have 8 or 9 months of clinical testing, like there are how many fucking tests can you run? It's not like you can be like, well, let's x-ray a lung from 10 years after the vaccine to see if what,
Yeah.
there could be something there. Like we just don't know. It's the same with
Yeah.
COVID, honestly. And
Yeah.
that's I'm
It's the
not
same
trying to
with everything, right?
mm-hmm,
Because not one thing does not work for all people. Like
right.
whatever you took and whatever you and your son took,
Mm-hmm,
maybe it would work perfectly for me and I would have felt instantly better.
right.
We just don't know. There's too many different variables with everybody to be
Mm-hmm.
able to say, oh, I could take this and everything will be fine. We don't know enough.
Right. And how many
We
times
don't
have
know enough.
vaccines had to be adjusted like throughout
Right.
the years, like the vaccines that
Right.
babies take? And then it's like, we still don't even know if those are safe. How many years later? We still don't even know if
Right.
those are safe. We don't know if those are linked to like autism and things like that. Like
Exactly.
those are still
Exactly.
questions. So it's like
Yeah.
when people are like, oh, well, if you vaccinated your kids or if you did this and you did that, then you can take the COVID vaccine. And it's like, no, because I don't know what it is. And
Right.
I'm not comfortable yet. It's not to say I
Yeah.
won't be, but as of right
But
now,
right
I'm not.
now, I'm not. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's just a lot going on. I feel like there's so many like decisions that need to be
Yeah.
made in 2020, 2021 because
Yeah.
everything just flipped and changed and went crazy. So we're going to get into our last segment because we've been chatting. Okay.
I
We've
know
been
I could go on
chatting.
this topic forever, but I'm ready to like be raunchy.
So the last segment is called Are You Dead Ass? And it's my favorite because we get to talk about all the shit that we've been going through, how we feel, just let it all out. So before I start
Yeah.
mine, do you have
Mhm.
anything you want to get off your chest?
Yes. So talking about pandemic and everything like that, I feel like for me, I'm an extroverted introvert. Okay.
Mhm.
So like I like to be invited to go out places. But when I get there, I'd like to say hello and I'd also like to say goodbye and like sneak out the back door. I'm notorious for it. Um, And so because I am kind of like a social person, I feel like dating during a pandemic has been nothing but shit.
Mm-hmm.
And I absolutely fucking hate it, and it's insane. I've made like connections with people here and there, but nothing is sticking. And so I decided to do a dating website. So I'm on a dating website where you're like swiping around or whatever, and I go out with somebody and everything was fine, and he's calling me every day and all this shit. At the end of the day, he says, let's go on a second date. I get dressed, I go to the place where he said to meet him, and he completely ghosted me.
Oh my goodness. Hey guys, so I just wanted to come on here and remind you that no one likes to be ghosted and no one likes to be ignored. So how can you show me that you won't ignore me? That's simple. Go to your Apple Podcasts and rate 5 stars, okay? Rating my podcast 5 stars will help it grow so much, okay? And if you're feeling a little bit more generous, leave me a review as well. Let me know how I'm doing or anyone you want to hear on the podcast or whatever topics you would like me to speak on. You can leave that in the review as well. And if you're feeling just a little bit more lovey-dovey, guess what you can do? You can take a screenshot of this episode and tag me in Instagram, okay? Let me know what your favorite part of the episode was and I'll repost it. I promise. All right, let's get back to the show.
I mean, we were talking we went on the first date and we talked every single day up until the point where it was like for the second date.
Mm-hmm.
And I sat there and he never showed up. I called and it was going straight to voicemail. Eventually he blocked my number. No idea what the fuck happened. I feel like he might have been married because we had such a cool date and everything we talked about was like flowing really well.
Right.
But when I tell you that was probably the second or third time that I had been ghosted since the pandemic started, I don't know what the fuck is going on. And I just feel like if it was something that I did, I feel like I am good at kind of reasoning with myself and being honest with myself and saying I might have come on too strong. I might have did this. I might have did that. But I feel like I'm also a very good vibey person. And if I'm feeling a certain way or whatever, I just let the vibe carry us and let the energy carry it, however it's going to go. Right. This motherfucker ghosted me I literally did nothing to him. And he was texting me every day. How's your day going? Blah, blah, blah. All these sweet things. Oh, I can't wait for Saturday. And it's going to be so fun. And so at the end, I'm like, did my ex pay somebody to like,
but that's the thing. No, it's like, how are you going to just ghost like that? Especially now, like in my head, I'm thinking you died. Like you just disappeared. Like,
did he get COVID? Did he die? Did I get COVID when I sat with him? It was when it was outdoor dining. So we just went, and this is a couple of months back. So I'm just like, I don't know what's going on. I'm calling him. Like, is everything okay? I left a voicemail. Is everything okay? Like,
right.
Are you safe? I didn't know what was happening. And I finally told my cousin about it. And she's like, girl, he's probably fucking married. Duh. I'm like, oh, that would make so much sense. Not to say like, I'm somebody who's great and should never be we shouldn't be ghosting anybody because we're adults in 2021. But I can see now it makes more sense and it would really kind of make sense with his whole story that he most likely was probably married. Honestly, because there's absolutely no reason why. And we didn't fuck. We didn't have any sex. We didn't have anything like that. So it wasn't like he hit it and quit it. He straight up ghosted.
He got caught.
All I could say, we were at the restaurant the first time. He's like, get whatever you want. He was definitely like trying to wine and dine. We had bottles and he was like getting all this food, this really good shit. We were like talking about all these things and he's like, order whatever you want, get whatever, you get whatever you want.
A great date.
Yeah, it was a really good date. He's like, when you're with me, I just want to make sure you have your ID and a person. That's it. You don't bring money. You don't touch a door. You don't do any of it. I'm like, oh, okay, this is great. And the motherfucker ghosted me. It was fun for the one day.
Why do the most to then ghost me the next time?
Well, I don't know. I was in my head like, did I do something? Did I say something? Was there like green shit in my teeth? Like, what the fuck was it? I don't know. And like I said, it wasn't the first time I had been ghosted. These guys are weird and the entitlement to my time also is something that I'm just like, I fucking hate it.
We've just talked about it. Like, you your time is your kids at this point. So
Yeah.
you had to get a sitter. You had to make sure everything was like, it's not just, oh, I'm going to see you tomorrow for dinner. And, oh, I just have to pick out an outfit.
It was a production. It was a production. I had to make sure dinner was already cooked for them or like was on the way. My cousin was coming out to make sure I lied and told her it was an hour before it was because she'd be late to every fucking thing to come watch my kids. And it was like, it was a whole production for me to get there and sit for like 20 minutes and be like, this nigga's not showing up.
That is so fucked up.
I was pissed.
I don't think I've ever ghosted anybody. Have you ever ghosted anybody?
No, because I'm a fucking adult, girl. My thing is this. I always tell everybody, like, don't take away my right to choose, okay?
Right.
If you think it's going to hurt my feelings, I don't care if you think it's going to hurt my feelings. You got to let me know and let me choose what I want to do. If you want to be, if I walk in and all of a sudden you're having sex with somebody, oh my God, I didn't know about that. Tell me, like, listen, this ain't working out. I'm about to go have sex with somebody. Let me know.
Right.
So I could be like, okay, like, I understand. Let me be hurt a little bit if that's what it's going to take. But at least I have respect for you for being honest with me. Right. Lying about it and then getting my hopes up and making me think it's something that it's not.
You're still hurting me.
Yeah.
You took your confrontation out of it. Like you didn't want to have that pussy on shit. You. That was
a pussy move, honestly.
So for people, for people to say like, oh, I didn't want to hurt you. You still hurt me. That still bothered me. Like nobody fucking wants to be ghosted. Like what the fuck are we talking about? Just tell me. Let me curse you out real quick and block your number. And that's it. If you really was sorry.
And there's no telling if I would have even done that because you don't even know like my personality. I probably would have, and most likely I wouldn't have, if he would have texted, because of course he's not going to call and tell me that. Yeah. If he would have texted to be like, I have to be honest, I'm a married man. I would be like, yo, what the fuck are you doing? And like, that was it.
Right.
I'm not putting my time and energy to scold you for some shit that you already know is
especially
wrong.
After only one date. Like
after one date, like I'm not that invested. My anger is exactly from what you said. The fact that I had to seek out a sitter, make sure home was taken care of before I left, make sure this, make sure that, and all these other things before I went out. That's where the level of anger came from because I put a lot of fucking effort and I looked good as fuck.
I believe it.
I looked good. And I was like, this motherfucker just ghosted me at this damn, looking like a fool. The guy came out and everything. Oh, would you like something to drink? Oh, I have somebody coming. Like,
oh, you were in the actual restaurant.
I was sitting at the table because he said being at this time, he got a little busy. So I was like, okay, he's probably on the way.
Right.
His phone had, and this is what saved him because one of the days we had been talking for like 2 weeks. And one of the days his phone completely died. Like he didn't have his charger or whatever. So I was like, he didn't put his phone on the charger. That's what it is. He's on his way. Nope. So that's what kept me there. I was like, oh, I remember that happened the other day.
Yeah. Giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly. And he was too like into me. And I was, showing him the same energy that I would think that he would not show up without some kind of reason. And that's why my first thing was, I'm scared. Like, is he okay?
Yeah.
So
yeah. That's disgusting. That's disgusting behavior. Ghosting people is never it. Just talk, guys, because you never know what someone would be down for unless you talk to them. You could get exactly what the fuck you want sometimes. You just never fucking know. You just
never know. Yeah, you let your fear of confrontation stop you. But in your head, you know that what you're doing is wrong or whatever.
Right. I mean, if he's married, that's a whole different case. But I'm talking more so like the guys who are like, oh, I don't want a relationship or whatever. Like, just fucking talk to me because guess what? Neither do I. You know what I'm saying? Like,
And like, I've said it before too. And that was one of the things I said too, because he was like, marriage and blah, blah, blah. And maybe that was something that was a trigger for him because he remembered his fucking wife that he probably actually had. And I told him straight up, marriage for me is something that I don't really think much about. I'm more of the life partner type of person. I don't feel like we need to bring our taxes into this for each other. We need to bring,
we don't need to sign a contract.
Split it down the middle. I don't need to do that. I don't want to deal with that. I feel like that's negative energy. Don't give me that negative energy. I just want to be able to love on you and feel how I want to feel with you. And if if it goes left, then we could shake hands and leave with the shit that we brought.
Right.
And that's it. And I don't want to, and that's just it for me. I don't want to have to, yeah. And I think that a lot of people are starting to feel that too, but there's a lot of people that don't want that either. They want the marriage. I'm not about to feed 250 people to watch me walk down a fucking aisle and
Even
kiss
if I
somebody that I
was to
just
get married,
fucking
I'm not having a wedding, first and
right.
foremost. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
doing
let's
that.
just say that.
That wasn't me. I was never that person. You know what I'm saying? Like, a wedding wasn't like, oh my God, I'm dreaming from it. No, I'd rather take a bomb ass trip, to be
That's what I'm
100%.
saying. Buy a house, use that money for something, you know, more.
Yeah. And at 35, I've seen so many people go through divorce. And that's crazy because I'm
Yeah.
only 35, right? But I'm fucking
Yeah.
old, I guess. And
Yeah.
the shit that they go through and how expensive it is and how messy it
Yeah.
is. Like, me and my son's father, we were together for 9 years. When we split,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't, you know, we still had to, like, we were living together. He had to find a place. I ended up moving and all of that. But that was it. Like, once we did
Yeah.
that, all we had to worry about was Ethan. Like, it wasn't
Yeah.
like, oh, we had to get lawyers involved and we have to get
Exactly.
paperwork and we have to none of that. And
None of that.
I don't want to go through that. If I didn't have to
I'm
go through that
so
with my
glad you had
son's
that.
father, I don't want to go through it like with anybody else. Like, I'm sorry.
Exactly. And for me, it's like, you know, we have 3 little boys, and you know, I don't like to be super negative about it, but I am a single mother in all the all around.
Mm-hmm.
He does not do what I wish that he would, but
Right.
that's not going to deter me from keeping up with what my end of the bargain with taking care of my kids. Nor
Right.
am I going to tell my kids like, oh, do you see, that's why he's, you know, he ain't shit and he does. I would never down talk. They
Yeah.
think the sun shines out of that man's ass. I'm going to let them think that
Mm-hmm.
because I want them to feel, you know, I act like his friend. I want them to see, oh, you don't have to be together to you know, be a family.
Right.
And even though it's a
He's still your
lie,
dad.
yeah, and it's a lie, and they'll find out when they get older. But right now, they don't need to find out. Let them live in the magic
Let
of
them make
thinking
their
that it's,
own opinions of their father.
yes, that's correct. And so, but that's like off the top. But the ghosting, yes. So I say that to say, stop fucking ghosting, you pieces of shit.
Point
Stop
blank,
it.
period. Okay.
Right, point blank, period. Because like literally, he would have. I mean, I think I'm a pretty dope ass chick.
Yeah.
I've got my shit together. You know, I raise my kids. I stay out the way. I mind my business. I drink my water. My skin is beautiful. Like I'm just, and I'm fucking thick as fuck. No, I'm just going to
I
So
mean, hello.
if you're listening, no.
She she wants nut videos, guys.
I know I want nut videos. I'm collecting them like the Infinity Stone. I already told you guys I'm not playing about that. But it has to be, I have to consent to it. I need to ask you for it. Don't just send them to me.
Right.
Yeah, because don't just send it
She's
to
not
me because I
opening
know
them.
you're gonna put my social media up, and I'm fine with the social media. The DMs are gonna be open to my discretion. But if you send me a nut video before I've asked you for it, that's automatic. I'm gonna watch it, but I'm not gonna answer to you.
And you might get blocked.
You might get blocked. I'm gonna watch it first. Let's just be real. I need excitement in my life. What's this attachment? Let's see. Oh shit! You know, I want a couple of those.
I need you to tell me if anybody sends you any nut videos.
Matter
of fact, guys,
I will not, and I want the guys to know you are safe with me. I'm not sharing it with anybody unless you specifically say, please share this with Steffi. Then I will share it with her. But you know, it'll be between us. It'll be between us.
She's just gonna tell me that, you know, she
I'm
got
just gonna tell her
like 2 or 3. We don't know.
I'm very descriptive, so I would definitely tell her description how good it was. This is so trash. This is the most toxic portion of your show.
Listen, you need entertainment somehow, right?
Yeah,
we're bored.
Somebody,
bored in the house. Bored.
Yes, we are. There's only so much TikTok that I can fucking stand. So let's get it going.
Girl, TikTok. We're not even gonna get into TikTok because
we're not gonna get into TikTok.
TikTok takes too fucking long. Okay.
I did silhouette challenge, legit 4 hours of silhouette challenge putting it together, but it came out the fucking bomb.
Girl, same. It took me like 4 to 5 hours to do that shit. And I'm just
how do you fucking do it? It was crazy.
How do people do multiple TikToks in one day? This shit took me too long.
It's a job. It is literally a job. I'm like, I don't have the time to do this.
Yeah, no,
I don't
seriously.
have the time I really don't. And then it's crazy because I have done a couple, you know, I have TikTok and I've done a couple of other ones before, and it's fine when you're doing your own content. But when you're trying to like record over shit and like put shit over here and like do these other things, girl, I was very proud of how it looked. And now I could see what people mean when they're like, what I post is not reality, because that 100%, my silhouette challenge is not reality. I was crying. I was ready to throw my phone 4 or 5 times. It was a fucking struggle. I was editing it back and forth. I was laying over my bed half-ass naked because I had to watch it and then be like, oh, I don't want to do that. And I'd have to get up and redo it, spray my hair, make sure my hair's fluffed. Oh my God, girl. It was a whole production.
A whole ass production.
Fun.
But a production nonetheless.
But a production. Yeah, I looked good though.
No, you did. Though. Your shit was fine.
Yeah, and
you're the reason why I did mine. I saw you and I was like, oh, that's fire. I was like, I'm gonna do this shit tomorrow.
And then they're like, well, let's ruin it by learning how to take the red filter off this shit. You motherfucker. I'm putting cases on all you bitches. Like, I was pissed.
The gag is I had lingerie on, so you ain't seen nothing.
I said, if you want to see fupa, some dimples in my thighs, a bra, and some panties, go ahead.
Right. You ain't saying nothing crazy.
I show more on my Twitter. Like, get the fuck out of here. Are you serious right now? So they want to take the red filter off. I don't give a fuck. You're gonna be disappointed.
I mean,
because what you can't see is my face. My face was like, trying to like get into the position. You want to see my ugly faces that I'm making? Go ahead, whatever you say. Oh my
God, I didn't put no makeup on. I looked like the beginning of the video, how my face looked. That's how I looked in the silhouette, guys.
I had a fucking bonnet. I gotta make this like, I had a house coat on. Trust me, I was like still house coat fashionable in my face, but with a bra and panty. Like, get the fuck out of here. You want to see it? Okay, whatever.
If you want to do all that work to take off the red screen, fine, go ahead. Have fun.
You could actually, now if you find out how to take Tabria's red fucking filter off, forward me that one, Tabria, because I would love to. That's the one I would love to see. But for mine, like, get out of here. Yeah,
she's fire, and I would love to have her on the podcast one day. Like, that is a goal. Like, I fucking love that bitch, and I've loved her.
Oh my God,
I feel like everybody loves her now because of that whole Beyonce thing. But like, I've loved her for years.
Wait,
like,
what? They're just now loving her because of the Beyonce thing?
A lot of people didn't know who she was.
I've been following her since she had really long hair.
Yes,
that's crazy. That's a long time.
She's fire. She's fire.
Yeah, she's a bomb.
So I'm just gonna go into my rant quickly. It's going to be really quick because I'm literally asking. I took
all your time.
No. It was going to be quick anyway because I'm really asking myself, like, are you fucking dead ass? Like, Stephanie, are you dead ass? I do this every so often because I really need to check myself, because when I fall into like these periods of being unmotivated, it can be so bad. And I feel like it's winter, I'm in New York. It's gray and brown everywhere. I don't get any sunlight. I'm home all day when the sun is actually out. When I can go outside, the sun is going down. Like, it doesn't even make any sense. It's fucking cold. I don't do cold. Like, I'm just not with the shits. And I really feel like I'm having like seasonal depression. Like, I don't want to get out of bed.
It's a real thing.
I don't want to do anything at all. Like,
paired with COVID and paired with a pandemic that is also like icing on the cake.
Girl. And it's like, I go through this every year. Like, I get my winter blues. Like, that's a thing. I know it's a thing. But this year, I feel like it was on 1000. I went to Florida to visit some family for like the holidays or whatever, which I'm so happy I did. I was scared to do it because, Florida and COVID or whatever.
Yeah.
But we
were on the phone with you when you were like at the airport.
Yeah. That's right. Oh my God. That was Christmas Day, girl. We were in fucking, oh man, that was a fun times. But it was just so amazing to be there with the sunlight, all the greenery. Like, I just felt so alive. And then when I came back New Year's Day. When I came back, it was just like, what the fuck is this? And since then, I have been literally just depressed. I feel like the pod has suffered from it. I had technical issues with my podcast and all of that. And today it is the 4th of February. And I'm like, you know what? I'm checking myself and I need to literally just pull myself out of this
Yeah.
funk. I woke up
You
today.
have to.
I don't have my son on Thursdays because he's with his dad. So I woke up today, I turned on music and I started dancing around my house. Like I showered and I just felt so much better. I took my laptop and I went to the front of my apartment where we have like these big windows or whatever. And
Yeah.
like a lot of like light can come in. And I literally just stood there and I prepared myself for this show because I couldn't. Like I have to get my life together. So
Yeah.
that was my rant because bitch, if I don't get my shit together,
Yeah.
I don't know what's gonna fucking happen.
I feel you. I will sit there and then I'll be in my bed working on my laptop or whatever and look up and all of a sudden it's just like 3:00 in the afternoon. And I'm like, what the fuck did I do all day?
All fucking day.
I was working and it's crazy. So we try to get outside at least 1 to 2 hours a day. We have to, or else it's just like we're all crazy. And they're crazy because they have boy energy.
Oh my God. Oh,
but seasonal depression is a real thing.
It's so bad. It's so bad. Yeah. But I'm thinking of getting like a vitamin D lamp, to be honest.
You should.
Because it's a lot. And I have low vitamin D anyway. Like, that's why I know I need to be somewhere where the sun is out. Because it literally, I'm like a crystal. Like, it charges me. Like, I get charged from the sun. So I'm thinking of getting a vitamin D lamp. And I'm gonna get my life together. I know I say this all the time. That should definitely be like my slogan. Like, I'm just getting my life together because I feel like
I love it.
I'm doing that shit all the time.
I'm here for that. Yeah, I'm here for it. I hope you do because it is a serious thing and it's easy to get sucked into it and to stay there. Right?
Days just pass. Days just go by. January flew by for me. I don't know where January went.
Yeah.
I was in bed.
February is a short month. It's going to be the same thing. You know? So it's just.
Yeah, I'm gonna get my life together. I'm going to be more consistent. I mean, I was consistent with my podcast. I only missed 1 week, so that's not too bad. But I'm going to be way more consistent. More things are coming out, guys, so just wait on it, okay? So before we end, Jess, can you tell my listeners where they can find you?
Sure. If you want to go over to Instagram, you can. I'm at JRiggs, JRIGGZ. If you want to go over to my Twitter where all the real debauchery is happening, I'm at Liz, and that's LIZZZ_Anya, ANYA.
Yay. Everything will be linked down below, so you guys don't have to like try to write this down as she's typing it. You can just click the link in the description. Everything will be there. You can follow me on Instagram _StephyKiss, STEPHYKISS, and the podcast page is Do I Look Fat Pod, exactly how it sounds. Thank you for tuning into another episode of the Do I Look Fat podcast. Don't forget to catch me every Fine and Thick Friday wherever you listen to your podcasts. Have a great day, guys. Bye.